Hey everybody. So we are in, I'm not going to do the whole PowerPoint background this week because I'm recording this at a much later date. Don't even know if I have that PowerPoint. I suppose I could download it, right? I made it downloadable, but whatever. I know you're probably not downloading the PowerPoints anyway, which is fine. There's nothing in them of relevance. Okay, so we are in module 6, and in module 6, you are going to be using Figma to create a wireframe, and you're also going to create an HTML assignment for me, which inputs forms and adds media. So short audio and can add a canvas shape. Uh, so these are the things that I am looking for this. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Again, you're going to be going into the W3 schools and you'll be in this forms section. The media is this HTML canvas or this, and then the media is the audio right here. So it's all right in order, boom, 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 right like that. So these are the three sections that I do want you to take a look at. Um, so let's go ahead and start with forms. So you can see here we have a form label or a form tab, and then all of our input types are inside of that. So we have a label for the form, so it's the first name, that's my label. And then these are input types, and there are multiple types of input types. You have that's a text box. You also have radio buttons. So radio buttons are the round buttons like this where you can only have one at one time. Another main type is check boxes where you can have multiple types. And then all forms have to have a submit button. So the submit button actually, if this is your code, it's going to cause whatever the action is to occur. Since we have no action, that's kind of a level up. Your action, you can have it, but you would just leave it blank. Um, and you can mix these things, but generally then you would have like form groups, which I don't think we are going to get into in this class. Forms can get kind of complex depending on how big they are, but the things that you can notice here, for instance, and I will go ahead and I'll show you how to put this on a page, though. Obviously, at this point, I could copy and paste this if I had it the way that I wanted it. But so the action you're going to leave blank. Okay, the label is for, and it should match this ID. So it's saying this label applies to this frame. This value here, this is what is in the block, just kind of as a starter value. And then we have a submit button. And whenever you change this, let's go to the try it yourself here, and we can actually have this be where we play with the code rather than me making a page. Um, so the value is what actually shows up on the button. So I could say here, send would help if I spelled it correctly. And if I run that, you can see that changes to send. So this is a way that we get information in from a website, from the user to the website so that we can process it. So we can have a comment or a email me section or something on a page to get that information. So you've all used forms before. So I'm sure you can kind of get how they go. Really, that's all there is to it. You can look at what the different types are. Um, they're all different input types here. We can go here. They have buttons, which is like our submit button, though submit is its own beast. Check boxes we looked at. There's all different kinds of things that you can have here. Date time local, this actually pulls if you want to get the timestamp from the local computer, you get that. But the main ones that I want you to pay attention to for us, the ones that are most commonly used are going to be check boxes. That's where you can pick more than one. Password, you might want to use password. The input type If I have that go in, it looks like a text box, but instead of showing the characters, it goes in as like dots. So if I go here, well, let's go back to that try me a second. Radio buttons, again, that you can only, they're the round ones. You can pick only one. Check boxes are square. You can pick as many as you want. And then submit is going to probably be one of the main ones that you use. Telephone, by the way, is, oh, and text. That's another big one. These things like this, the reason why they have a special type, like telephone, it's because it's going to be formatting things in certain ways or checking to see that it has the right number of digits. It already has that stuff programmed into the type. Um, so that is what I want you to do there. So let's go in to do the try me. So I have this. If I change this instead of to type and I say it's a password, I would probably take the value out. And then when I type in here, see how it goes in dots. So that's the type of stuff that is built in with making forms. So I would like you to put a form. Let's see what else I want you to put in here. I want you to style your form so you can have, change the font. So you're going to do that in the same kind of ways here. When you have IDs in this, you can style by class and ID. I can't do it here. Let's just take this. Okay, so I have this, and now if I want to style this stuff, I'm going to put a head so I can put some style up here in the top. Wow, look at all of that it gave me. It just AI'd me. It's so amazing. Okay, so but I can go in here and style these things like I can style the wait, what happened to it? Where'd it go? Oh, do I want to accept this? Accept, yes. Give me all that. Give me all that beautiful styling information. Okay, so I can style, let's say I can style my form text differently. And you style this in the exact same way that you style everything else that you've done so far. So I could say, actually, let's ID equals submit button. So now I can go in here and I can style this submit button. So it's ID, so it's hashtag submit button. Oh, look at this. It is just giving me, this is, by the way, is the newest version of Visual Studio Code. So it is giving me all of this AI stuff popping open. Let's go ahead and accept what it says. And it's telling me I want a cursor, I want a pointer. Um, wait, what happened? Accept. Okay, so let's say instead of pointer, I want a finger. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save this file. Save. And then let's go over here. Form. Refresh this. There. So there I have my button. You can give it rounded corners. You can do whatever you want to style this and have fun. And I guess I took out the fact that that was a password, but go in, have fun, make a usable form. Obviously, I would want this to be centered on the page so that, um, and have it be integrated in my design. I don't want it just thrown in there like this. Okay, what else am I asking you to do this week? I am asking you to style your form, which we just did. I want you to add media. So adding media is super simple. Um, First, you have to have a sound, and I believe in this module, I gave you links to the sound effects. The AI sound effects are kind of fun that you can add. Let me go, where am I? Mm, did I add it? Okay, I'll add this. Look, there's these cool things in here. Like you could have like free AI sound effects. Of course, you don't have to do this. I'm just doing it because it's kind of fun. Free AI sound effects generator. I could probably actually go into Bing. I bet you that it would do it too. 11 Labs is the one I want. Okay, generate sounds free. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and I'm going to ask it. I've already made an account. So let's just do a sound effect. And I have a dog sitting here next to me on the bed, and let's see if it will generate something that will wake my dog up from a nap. Yes, my dog looked. It is AI close enough in sound to wake my dog up from a nap. It's just fake, Ozzy. It's okay. Go back to sleep. Okay, so I can make one of these. By the way, this is 11 labs, but I bet there's a lot of tools out there that will get this. I'm going to go ahead and download that. I'll put it in my folder. I'm going to copy it. I'm not quite sure where this folder is because I just kind of threw it in here. Let's see, open folder. So here, this is it. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in here. Now I have this open. I should have had this open, by the way, all the time. It will help do things a little bit better, but I can go in here and I can paste or I can drag it in there. Boop. Okay. So now if I open up forms, let me get the code here for this for audio. How do I add audio to the page? Well, let's go here to media. I can go to graphics, audio. Here's this. I'm going to copy this code. Okay, now my form is this. I'm going to rename that because it is just gnarly, gnarly named. So let me rename it. Bark. I would probably actually put this in a folder called assets. Drag it up there, move. Okay, so now if I go here, I'm going to say I want this to be, and it is an MP3 file, so that's the only one that I want. I don't need this OGG. My file is in asset slash bark dot MP3. Okay, so I save this. Let's go back to it over here. Refresh. And now I have audio on my page. So you can put some video on the page. Now, let me just say that you cannot run video from GitHub. Video requires a video streaming service like YouTube or things like that. So you could probably run little teeny tiny little files of video and you can run teeny tiny little files of audio. But you wouldn't want to be trying to run like a podcast audio file from GitHub or you know, a video file from GitHub. It just isn't going to work. Um, again, try to integrate this into your page. I'm just throwing it on here. But I'm just, what our goal is to be working down through everything in here. And I ask you about YouTube here. So let's show you the best way to integrate YouTube. Let's say I want to do this. This is my stuff. Let's do the race against time to save somebody from eviction.
Be able to help out.
So
It's okay.
I make sure that the video is past advertisements if there are advertisements on it. And you're going to go down in here and go to share, embed. And this is giving you an iframe, which is how you embed information from another website onto your page. A lot of times, YouTube nowadays will kind of block the iframes because it messes with the payment for the people that actually created, the creators of the site. So don't be super shocked if you have a video that has that blocked. Just add a different one. Okay, so I'm just going to copy that. I'm going to go over here. Boom. Again, integrate it into your page. Don't just dump it on a page like I am. Okay, so now I can go into my page, which was it this one? Yes. Did I save? File, save, forms, refresh. There it is. I probably should have put a break in it, and now it's going to pay
Working mom, and I want to be able to help.
right here. I love this guy, by the way. He goes and cuts people's yards. He lives in Detroit. It's funny. I hate to cut my own garden, but I will sit and watch him do gardening all day long. I just love it. It's hysterical, the stuff we watch on YouTube. Okay, so now let us go to see what else I have asked you that I want on this rubric. Uh, uh, uh. Where'd it go? Okay, a canvas shape. This one is kind of hard. Let's go into this. And this is something that I generally would not be using a whole heck of a lot, but I recently just saw a thing where everything was built. Actually, here, I'll show you. It's something I was working on. Why would you have the computer? That's okay. Go. I don't care that it's not stable. Okay. Do this way. Okay, so all of these little country shapes are like built. They're not images. They're what they call them SVG shapes that are actually built by the computer. Um, I didn't do it, obviously. This is something I was working on. Somebody gave me this design. They wanted me to build it, so I built it for them. But this was made by a third-party tool. However, all of these shapes are built by the computer, so that's why you would want to have shapes. But where do they come from? So if you go in here, graphics. So this shape here, you're drawing on the canvas. So it actually just drew that and it told it what to do. But the SVG are these things. So all of those things are SVG, I believe, on that map. So you can go in and change that. Let's change the color to purple. And really all you're doing when you do stuff like this, because this obviously it's a thing of copying and pasting at this point, but you're acknowledging to me that it's possible. So that when time comes, you will say, yes, the computer can draw on a web page, can draw shapes. Is it possible? Yeah, you can do SVG or you can do canvas shapes. So I want you to be able to know how to do these things and know how they work, but I don't really Like, will you be doing that very often? Probably not, but just know that it is possible and that there are applications like that map where you know, where they are used. Uh, did I develop that map by hand? No, I did not. A third party thing did it because the map, those little shapes are hugely complex. So, yeah, I could not do that by hand. It would take me forever. I'd be like a monkey in an infinite work loop, and we don't want that. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about for shapes. CSS nav bar. I think I'll give you an example of that. Um, I think I gave an example of that, or I'm going to with I think I included it with the flex shapes, flex grid. So maybe I'll bump that up. But if you go into here, CSS navigation bar, so I'm over here in the CSS page, go to the navigation bar, and it gives you samples of different navigation bars that you can use and how that you would style them. So like if we go in here and do this, try it. It's actually all about the styling, so I don't know why that's not working there. That's kind of silly. I want a horizontal nav bar. Okay. So here's one. This is a horizontal nav bar. So I can copy this stuff. I can tell it to go the whole way across the street, the whole way across the page. Um, I need to find my sample because I have a better sample for you. Let me pause this and I'll be right back. Okay, I just realized that I had the nav bar actually in module 7, and I talk about it more in depth there. So I removed it here. So I've changed this a little bit. So for this, it's real simple. It's just adding the shape, creating the form, and styling your form are the biggest things for it. So that is all that is due for that, which works because we also have a Figma wireframe. So again, we're going back to the fact that we are in the design phase of our design process, right? So we should not be, if we were working with a client, we probably would not be building too much right now. So this is in Figma is the tool that I want you to use for this. So I could have sworn I had a Figma open. So again, if you go through the process, I think I talked about previously, but if you just go to figma.com, you can get an academic account. I think I put the instructions in a previous module. So don't pay for an account. You can get a free one. So now what we're going to do is after you have your account set up, we are going to create a wireframe. And a wireframe is just kind of like a black and white sketch of what your website, your final website is going to look like. So basically, it's just the shapes and the text, basic text, and space holders, basically. So, if we go in here, let me Google and look at a website wireframe so you can see some of them. So this happens before you are actually building. So if we look at this up, you can see they're just black and white wireframes, black and white kind of sketches. And all it is text and rectangles and placeholders. Now, eventually you can start changing this, adding your pictures into it, and it can become your prototype. But right now it's just your wireframe, okay? So let's go in here and talk about how this works. So you would go in and you would say file new, and we just want a regular file new, and we're making a wireframe. Why is this being so? Back to files. Let's go back to the beginning. Okay, so I am here in files. I am going to say file or new design. Let's do it this way. Hit the plus. Okay, so I have this. Okay, so the temptation here is for people to use pages We're going to do everything on the same page. What we are going to use is frames because frames are what would be used to make an interactive prototype. So in order for you to go into the next steps, we're going to be using frames. So each page, if I say you have to have 5 pages in your website, it would actually be 5 different frames. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open this frame up, click on that. So over here are all my assets and things, and over here are the properties on this side. Move this picture of myself out of the way talking. Okay. So when I hit a new frame, I have to decide what size I want to make this particular wireframe. And typically you'll hear the phrase mobile first. So you usually want to start with mobile and design for mobile. But in this class, I'm kind of designing, all this way along, I've been designing for desktop. You can choose either. The key is that once you choose something, like if I say MacBook Air, all of my frames have to be for the same thing. Don't go changing to try to please me, okay? Just keep your frames all the same. So I am going to say, let's say I'm going to do desktop. Now I can control plus and I can control minus out. I'm going to control minus so I can see this. So I can click on this and say this is my home page. And then I could hit another frame and I'm going to say desktop because it always has to be the same. And I can say that this is my about page. Now, let's say on my home page, I know that I'm going to want people to scroll down. You never want people to scroll left and right. That's bad form. No scrolling horizontally, but scrolling vertically is okay. This is going to be even more common as you get into mobile designs. So you can go and actually Control Z. I can click on that and I can go in here in the height. Then I can say, let's say I want it to be 2000. So I can go in the properties and change it. That way, if I drag it, you see that I screwed up the width. Okay, so now all of this is adding shapes. So I can say in here, I can say this is my heading. And as you change the different, as you add different shapes, you can change the background color. So now that's way too small, that font. So let's say I want this to be 32. Okay, so that's how big that 32-inch font was going to look on there. So I may want it to be even bigger. Whatever my H1 font is. So this is my placement on the page. I had to click off of it, notice. So this, I can tell that this is probably too thick or too fat, too wide. So here, so now I can go in here and I can add, I'm going to have a navigation bar here. I don't want it the same pick color, so I can kind of move up and down here and change what the shade of this is. So I can put in here the words, nav bar if I want like let me put it down here. These are going to be a lot smaller. They're going to be probably 15, let's say. Home. So once I click on it, now I can drag it back up here. I can put the different words in here. So let's say now after this, I want to have 3 sections. Control, control copy, paste. You can see the guidelines. This is helping me put it in the middle. Somewhere in here, there's a line that will help me align these things. It's probably over here. Nope, that's not the one I want. There's alignment tools in here. And I'm sending you also along with me doing this. I am sending you a video. It's going to be in the assignment that has expert on Figma showing you how to use this. Realize that when I was in my big heyday of website design, we didn't have all of these cool tools. I designed things on pieces of paper, which I suggest you can do too. You can sketch things out on paper because I have to think that way, but maybe you don't. Um, but what's nice about this is you can send these things to clients all over the place. So some of these newer tools aren't necessarily my forte just because things change so quickly and I'm old. Figma came on the scene probably in the past five 5 years or so. So anyway, so you're going to lay out your page of how you want it laid out. And so now if you have multiple pages, you'll do this page too and do the layout and kind of think. You can put in here like what you think is going to be in each section. So I can say here, this section, blog post two, for instance. This section's blog post three, whatever it is, put a little blurb about what's going to be in each section. Okay, so once you get this done, and if you're the final project is going to be 5 pages, either that or it's going to be 5 navigational sections. So you can either have it be a single page app, especially if you're doing it on mobile, have everything on one page and stacked. But you have to have up here like at least 5 different things for me to navigate to in the final project. So either this has to be long or you have to have 5 pages, or excuse me, 5 frames. Remember, use frames. I want to see everything here on one page. We don't want multiple pages in this particular project. Okay, then to turn this into me, you're going to hit the share button. I don't know why I have Vivian's team on there, whatever. But I say here that you want it to be visible to anybody with the link can view it, which is same as what I have, so I don't have to change it. And I'm going to copy the link. And then that is what you will turn in when you turn in that copied link so that I can actually see what you created in Figma. So in addition to watching me do this, please make sure that you look at the sample that I gave you. And or if you go into YouTube, Figma has its whole training channel that shows you how to do everything in Figma. So this is my own channel. So let's go into regular YouTube, go into Figma. And if you go here, that's Jamraz. Figma actually has its whole own channel. Those are all sponsored. Flex Academy is a good one. Figma, right here. Figma has its own channel. And so it has all of its own training things. So consider that to be kind of like our online textbook. But of course, you can use any tutorials that you want because probably you'll want to because I haven't shown you anything. Though, even though I'm saying I haven't shown you anything, wireframes are not any more complicated than what I just showed you. That's really all there is to wireframes. Now, you may get into using UI tools and things like that where you can where it has the different like Apple tools and you can put those in. That is an option that you can get into, but generally what happens is once you get up into prototyping, they disappear unless you pay for them and all kinds of weird things. So for right now, just keep it simple, right? Simple is good. And as you get into being a professional and you want to use all the paid options of these tools, you are welcome to do it. But that is all there is for the week, I think. Let's take a look at the module. I want you to give me your, yes, create a wireframe using Figma. And again, this should be about your final project. And then also your forms and HTML graphics. Write a reflection on how you're doing, and that helps me tailor the class as we go and make sure everybody's doing okay. And then your support and chat if you want it. Besides that, that is all there is. Please remember to contact me if you're having any questions. And if you have any of those really stuck questions, don't forget you can ask my digital twin and you can do what's wrong with this code and paste your code right in, and it will help you fix your code. It's not going to give you the exact code because I told it not to, but it will tell you, it will explain to you what's wrong and why. So feel free to use my digital twin for that. But again, if you want a longer explanation and more help, I am here for you. So don't forget to call me if you're stuck. Okay? I will talk to you all again soon and good luck.